Welcome back to Streamline Entertainment. It's Marvin speaking. We're going to get straight into a video of a young lady who tells her experience in Tenerife.
Talking about Jay that's gone missing, right? But I ended up in a hole in TikTok last night and I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happened, obviously, I just hope he's found safely, but I ended up in a hole on TikTok last night seeing how unsafe Tenerife is, and this is my story. Last Christmas, 2022, I got my dad a holiday to Tenerife in January just for some, winter sun, just to treat him. Anyway, we had this day and we were out, we were drinking, we were just having fun, on the front. We went all the way from Las Americas to Costa Rica and back. Anyway, on the way back from Costa Rica, because we walked it, our hotel was on the other side of Veronica's. So we stopped in at, I don't know where it is, I think it's right at the end, here. We stopped in at this bar, called, I think it's called Sugar Reef, on the end. And then they started ploughing us full of alcohol, whatever, you paid a certain amount of money and then you got a certain amount of alcohol. And I just said, I was like, I don't feel great now. And he was like, Emma, we paid this to get in, we'll drink this and then we'll go home. Great. Anyway, I wake up the next morning and I'm like, morning. And Dad's like, do you not remember what happened last night? I can't remember a single thing, right? I can't remember anything. Dad was a bit hazy, but he could remember it. Anyway, we've come out of Veronica's to walk back to the hotel, which is literally here. And as we've walked, these group of men, apparently to my dad, they were German, this group of men have come up to my dad and been like, you're taking advantage of a drunk girl. And he's like, it's my daughter. And basically they've beat up my dad for taking advantage of for no reason. And my dad's for the reason with them being like, it's my daughter, and I'm going, I'm his daughter, there is no need to do any of this. And yeah, they just beat my dad up, 60-year-old man on the strip, which is great. And I've heard this so many times, this kind of thing on Veronica Street, and I just thought it was not a coincidence, I just thought it was a one-off thing. So if anyone else has had anything weird happen on Veronica Street, because I feel like I saw so many videos yesterday, and we make a joke out of it now, oh god, wrong place, wrong time, wrong place, wrong time. But is Tenerife actually dangerous? I don't know. Obviously.
Interesting what she said. I do think that they might have been spiked, and luckily her dad kept his head together, and they probably panicked when they beat up her dad, who was 60 odd. I think you've just got to be careful, and I think you can be in the wrong place at the right time. Obviously, a father and daughter not looking for trouble, but is interested in that. She woke up and didn't know what happened, and he was a bit hazy as well. I think you've got to be careful with your drinks out there. Move on to part 2. Stay safe, everyone in Tenerife.
Right, I'm getting a lot of comments on the videos of people who own businesses out in Tenerife, cafes, bars, restaurants, saying that they've lived in Tenerife for years and it's safe, nothing goes on. But I find that naughty, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to convince innocent people who have never been to Tenerife before to make them think that it is safe. But there's a lot of people who have things happening to them, things put in their drinks, being mugged, gone missing, but yet these business owners are trying to convince innocent people that it's safe to keep their business coming and to keep tourists coming over. I find that naughty, that really naughty.
Because they don't want to lose the credibility. This is why I said, whatever crime goes on, the bar owners, there's a lot of British bar owners out there as well, they tend to turn a blind eye to them. It's a bit like the Wild West out there. Anything goes, and they tend to think, they'll tell you the story, or little bits of the story, some of these bar owners, but you're thinking, but there's it doesn't seem normal in what they're doing. And I guess for them it's survival of the fittest, and their heart have got really tough, and that's one of the reasons why no one speaks, or you get your business taken away from you, or possibly taken away and killed.
Really naughty, the people are doing that. Just whoever's going to Tenerife this year, just do not split up with your friends like I did. Make sure you're with a group of yours and don't wander off on your own, because I know when you've had a few drinks you can wander off on your own thinking that you're fucking Billy Big Bollocks, and thinking that you're going to be safe, but in reality there's certain gangs out there who would steal from you and mug you. And for people who commented on the video as well the last couple of days saying drug gangs won't steal from you, they've got bigger fish to fry, they fucking would. Drug gangs do steal as well, so for all you people who think that they don't steal, they steal. So everyone look after yourself out there, because I've had a few, bad experience out there, and I'm thankful that I'm still here, to be honest.
Wow.
But yeah, for anyone who's going, look after yourself.
Respect to that. Do you know what I mean? Because I think this guy actually knows what's going on. You know, I've got a just funny feeling he probably knows a bit more that doesn't want to say it. But you could actually see the anxiousness in fear in actually talking about, I think, what he's seen and what he went through. So I think a lot of people who live there and work there say it's an absolutely great place, but I think sometimes it's more sinister than what you think, and drink spiking seems to be massive over there. So people who are thinking going over there, just be a bit careful. I just want to say the lady obviously telling a story, I think sometimes you can just be at the wrong place at the wrong time. But one thing I've learned from people talking about Tenerife, friends that have been there, you've got to have your wits about you and you've got to stick together. That's very, very important, and look after your drinks, because I think drink spiking is very, very big out there to take advantage of people, and it's a terrible, terrible thing to steal from them, or even worse. But it's something very, very interesting from what these people have to say, and so many people are actually coming out about their experience in Tenerife, and maybe they thought, you know, that nobody's going to take them seriously, but obviously what happened to Jay Slater, a lot more people are actually coming out about this. Let me know what you think. I think you've got to have your wits about you going to Tenerife. I think it is a beautiful place, but I think a lot of people have so many stories to tell as well, and they're not always good. Don't forget to subscribe to Streamline Entertainment and support the channel. Thank you wherever you are in the world, and thank you for the people who support the channel, the people that have been with me since day one, and the new people. Much respect. This is part 3 of a girl, a woman should I say, telling her experience of Tenerife. This is interesting.
Everyone has been sharing like their Tenerife horror stories. I feel like I have quite a few experiences. I was an avid Tenerife holidayer, and I have had my fair share of not nice experiences in Tenerife. I feel like also like something that's not spoke about is really how unsafe Tenerife is sometimes. I feel like it's can be a very dangerous place. It's a lovely place, don't get me wrong, but also can be very dangerous. So I'm going to tell you a few instances of my own. First instant, we had gone on a family holiday. Me and my cousin went out for the night. We had like 2 drinks, I think, and next thing I woke up at the side of the road. So basically, like, my cousin said, like, I was missing for like basically an hour. I could not be found. Like, she was freaking out. I was about 18, 19 at the time. She was freaking out. I'm not like that. Like, I wouldn't just, like, you wouldn't just lose me like that. Like, I would be with someone. I would not go off on my own. I'm a fearedy. So all I knew was I woke up and this man was standing over me, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? He wasn't really speaking English. I was freaking out, and then she heard the commotion and came running and was like, what the fuck, like, where have you been? And I was like, what do you mean, where have I been? What the fuck has happened to me? And like, I mean, like, the next day I was covered in bruises. I was violently ill, by the way. Violently ill. My dad actually had to put me on my side. Mum and dad had to keep me on my side all night. I was like literally projectile vomiting in my sleep. I refused to go to the hospital. I think the reason I refused to go to the hospital was I was so scared that they would tell me that I've been spiked or this, that and the other had happened. I just didn't want to know. I literally just didn't want to know. I stayed right by my dad's side them whole 2 weeks. I was terrified. I also got on another holiday to Tenerife, it's a different holiday, grabbed by my...
I just want to say that I think spiking is actually massive out there, and a lot of people are actually sharing their stories after the Jay Slater case. Maybe they thought before that nobody was really interested, but to hear these experiences, that is a bit. I always said in my videos, it looks like an absolutely beautiful place. But like my dad's been there years ago, and had experience in there, and he said you've got to be careful out there, and he's been out there a few times. I've got friends who live out there and go out there all the time, and some of the stories they tell me are just absolutely unbelievable. People being taken away on the street because they've done something wrong and never seen again. That happens a lot, and I think just because we don't hear it, it doesn't mean it doesn't happen. But a lot of people have got different experiences, and I think spiking is one of the big ones. At the end of the day, even if you're out for an hour, some terrible things can happen.
Man down the street, like really grabbed, like he latched, I'm trying to show you, like latched onto my arm and like wouldn't let me go, and I was like, what the fuck? This was also not at night time, like it was like light, and he was like in broken English, like asking me where I was staying and stuff, and I was like, oh my god, please leave me alone. This man was very strange. One night I vividly remember sitting in a kebab shop, and this man, I caught this man's attention and he wouldn't leave. He stood outside the shop and waited while we were in it, and like was heavily breathing, staring at me, going like, and I was like, what the fuck is going on in this place? We were in a bar one night and watched a man get stopped by the police. He then, I can't actually believe this happened, like I still am like, what the fuck? Bet, said policeman, bet the policeman. What? One night I was sitting in a bar, and you know when you're texting someone, you're having a conversation, you don't put your phone away, like you wait for the response. And this fella that was working in the bar like leaned in like very like inconspicuously, like pretending he was picking up a drink, and was like, put your phone away now. I was like, why? What's wrong? And he's like, you're about to get your phone still, put your phone away now. So obviously I'm like, what the fuck do you mean? He's like, you know, keep your voice down. He's like, you don't understand, but like there's literally someone sitting watching you, waiting for you to turn your head and like not pay attention to that phone, and they're just gonna swipe it. He was like, I'm watching, like I know these people, I know they do this all the time. He was like, basically said like the strip and everything is all run by gangs, and like they basically operate it all, like all the thieves, everything, like they choose for that to happen.
I always think that it's organised crime. Right from the very top, right from the very bottom, they know what's going on. I think they watch people a lot. Who's got money? Who's spending a lot of money? Who they can thieve off. I think it's a lot of it on the strip. I think is petty crime, but it can escalate very, very, very quickly. I think, especially for people who start running out of money over there, who wants to live the life out there. This is what I think, but. It's nice to hear people's experiences.
And he was like, you're going to lose that phone if you don't put it away. Well, safe to say, that phone went in my bag and didn't come out all night. And I sat with my bag like this. I was like, no, sir, please don't take my stuff. I had white bitch shouted at me by a local when I was walking down the street. One thing I also noticed was one night we were in a bar. So these are like all different holidays, like all different events. And there was a sign up saying to watch out because there was an very active pickpocketer. So this woman really drew my attention because this was quite a casual bar and she was wearing like this big, like long out there red dress, nearly like a ball gown as such. And I thought, strange choice of attire, but you know, you're fooling yourself, I like it. But then the more I watched her, she was like going around like all the men, like the single men in the bar, really mingling with them. And I was like, she's either up to something or she really, really just wants a man. I don't know what, but I don't know, maybe both, who knows. So then at the end of the night, I came out, said woman was out of the plain dress, or out of the red dress into plain clothes. But I knew it was the same woman because she had like quite like a familiar face. Like there was quite a few things you could pick out about her, and she was like actively like giving things to the like looky men, and I was like, oh my god, she's the fucking pickpocket. She was not flirting with them. Well, she was flirting with men, but she was doing it to distract them to steal their fucking stuff. I literally could go on all day with like stories and like dodgy stuff that I've seen happening. Obviously, everywhere, like you get these things everywhere. But
It's interesting what she said about people posing as good people around you. I've heard a lot of stories, and it was funny. Lucy's name was a name of Lucy, should I say, was brought up before the Jay Slater case, and apparently lured someone to the beach. I don't know whether it's the same Lucy, but I heard that, and a kiddie was attacked, but managed to get away. So it's interesting. I think a lot of the things are rehearsed and happens over and over again. And this is my point in the Jay Slater case. These people are still out there and can do harm again, and they wouldn't think twice.
I just feel like Tenerife is probably like where I've had my most questionable experiences. I don't think I've ever been on holiday elsewhere where I've like had these kind of encounters. Basically, just a heads up for anyone going to Tenerife. Do stay safe. Do stay safe. Watch your stuff. Watch your drinks. If your girl's going, mega watch your drinks. Don't walk anywhere on your own late at night, even through the day. Like, people are wild. Like, honestly, I remember walking down like the main kind of like, do they call it like the Golden Mile or something, where the safari centre is, and this man came up to me and was like, oh, this is for you. And it was a bracelet, like a beaded bracelet, and I was like, for me? And he was like, yes, for you. You keep. I was like, oh, thanks. Walked on. Next thing, this man's chasing me down the road, like pulling at me. Money. I was like, take your goddamn, but didn't even like the bracelet. I fucking want it. It was wild looking anyway. I feel like a lot of people, when they're going on holiday, you just don't think you're relaxed, you're on holiday, like, you don't think of that these bad things could happen, but especially Tenerife, like, it can be a very, very questionable